Yevgenia BREUS of the Ukraine on the right. VERES straight away very defensive, keeping her body as far out of the reach of BREUS as she can. And look at that, there's a lot of defending from the Hungarian, and she came in just as BREUS was retreating from her attack. A well-timed move by VERES.
Yeah, well pumped up as well for this, isn't she, VERES? Well, she's obviously got tactics in mind here, and like you said, immediately just leaning back, and then how quickly she can come in. But 1 point back for BREUS there.
She came in onto the point of BREUS's épée with that move. Just being asked to sit upright for the on-guard position before she chooses that ever so mobile retreat and back in. And when she does come in, it's quick. Close the distance and got point on target.
Well, she really is absolutely pumped up for this, and just making sure she's out of range. A double there, point each for that. 3-2 it is.
Well, you would think from that reaction that VERES had won that point. I mean, she's really just getting delighted over every point that gives her any advantage. And getting a yellow card for something, the coach just having a word with his athlete, making sure that the skirt is fully covering the wheelchair, as the wheelchair is not part of the target. And if the épée does touch it, a point could come up. Now, the coach of VERES we saw this coaching in the men's competition, the head Hungarian coach just having a discussion with the referee. He's not happy about that yellow card.
No, he's not happy about the yellow card, and he thinks it should be 3 points up for VERES. Well, first time we've seen any kind of challenge.
Well, some fun, bright lights happening on the clock, and we'll have to wait and see what the result of this discussion is. The referee is listening to the coach.
Well, I'm interested to see how far the coach can actually go before the referee says, that's my decision.
The DT has been requested. And a couple of other referees being involved, and now the Ukrainian coach wanting to have his say, thinking better of it. Well, I pause for the athletes, and it's VERES who was leading by 1 point before this decision, and we'll see if anything changes.
Yeah, when we got through to the knockout stages yesterday, it all became just that little bit more intense. Every point was fought for. Every point so important. So you're just on about lifting there out of the chair, and I'm just wondering how strict and how they keep an eye on that. How
well, it's much harder to see with the skirt around the waist. That referee, you can just see sat down in the center of your screen. That'll be his job to keep an eye on VERES. And now the referee speaking to the fencer herself. The 23-year-old Hungarian. Speaking good English to the referee. Well, we can just hear there, because it was a double hit, but the referee is saying VERES's bottom was lifted off the chair, and that's a yellow card. But because it's a yellow card and a double, it means that actually the hit's awarded to BREUS. So after that explanation from the referee, we restart this match, and it's 2 apiece, VERES and BREUS.
Well, things like that can upset the balance, certainly when there's momentum flowing. Well, she really has a particular style, doesn't she, VERES?
She has a lot of back extension to really control this fight. A double, and VERES still delighted with that, but actually it hasn't really changed much apart from getting both of the fences 1 point closer to that elusive 15.
Well, we could really see, can't we, how there's another double there, and you know, if one was 3 points ahead, you could kind of understand it, you know, but it's not there yet.
Referee asking the athletes on guard. VERES keen to stay out of the reaching distance of BREUS and only close that when she wants to attack and back out of the way as soon as she can. And that means BREUS has to time her attacks to coincide, and that time both athletes closing the distance. But it's a point now awarded to BREUS as VERES just coming too far out of her chair on that attack.
Yeah, she's having a little word with her coach again, and I'm wondering just how involved he could get.
Well, now the Hungarian, after those couple of mistakes, just overstretching, is suddenly on the defensive, but she's getting back in the match. 1 point trailing Ukraine's BREUS.
Well, this is really closely contested, this match.
It's going to go to a much longer time. The women really just trying to play it quite safe here, taking their time, finding the right moment to launch that attack. VERES not wanting to make any more mistakes, and that was a wonderfully timed attack onto the arm of BREUS, and she knows it was a good hit. I'm not sure if this is all this excitement trying to intimidate her opponent. BREUS now just asking the referee if she can straighten tip of her épée ever so slightly, getting the right shape on the blade.
Yeah, well, on the other side of it, BREUS is just being very, very cool, calm and collected, isn't she?
Well, there's another point she's given away to BREUS and suddenly finds herself trailing by 1 point yet again. So mobile in the chair, but occasionally a little too mobile. And the referee just picking up on that. Well, BREUS celebrates as she starts to extend her lead. 8 points to 6 over VERES. Just a little go in Hungarian. VERES to herself.
Well, again, another double point, but this time, 2 point advantage to BREUS.
Well, VERES was celebrating those doubles early on in the match, but now a double won't be to her advantage. And the coach congratulating every victory from the Hungarian, and she is celebrating as though she's just won the fight, but still 1 point down on her opponent.
Yeah, very tight match, this one. BREUS just staying a little bit calmer. I certainly don't think she's intimidated, and that's a fact. She's still 1 point ahead. That was a double hit.
BREUS celebrated that double. But now we are back to 10-all. And VERES absolutely delighted with that. But she's going to have to get a few more single hits, and the Hungarian back into the lead. But she's still going to maintain this form for another 4 hits if she's going to make it through to the semi-finals.
I want to see what the celebration is if she does win it. 11-10.
VERES keeping her distance. Just biding her time now. She's suddenly found herself back in the lead. And BREUS being pulled forward, but BREUS there just apologising for a counter-attack after actually getting the initial hit. Maybe VERES being a little bit too defensive at that moment. She knew she was one up, and she seems to defend so much better when she's under the pressure of being equal or one down, and maybe defending a little bit too much. But it's another red card to the Hungarian. And she's asked for a video review.
Well, she has got a couple of red cards, hasn't she? And giving points away. And they can't afford to give points away. So 2 chances in the knockout with the red cards.
Well, she celebrated that hit, but it was then taken away from her and given to her opponent. So having been thinking she was 1 point up, she's actually 1 point down, and that's 3 red cards now for VERES. Basically, she has given 3 points to BREUS, and with only a 1 point difference.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just so crucial. Yeah, absolutely crucial, because every point so contested.
Well, the referee says that the appeal unsuccessful, so the score remains BREUS on 12, VERES 11, and it's the first to 15. You can see the clock running out. That's not till the end of the fight. That'll be the end of the first period, and a 1 minute break will ensue. VERES just asking for halt. 5 seconds until the break. Either Athlete going to do anything in these 5 seconds, and BREUS certainly not waiting for the time to run out, maybe not aware of it. Referee calls halt, and it's a 1 minute pause. Well, this a time for the athletes to have a quick word with their coaches.
Yeah, I mean, she's a point behind here, coming into the second period. And like you say, 3 points. She just gave away 3 points.
Well, she'll be having some clear words from the national coach. Personal coach not with her on the field of play. Yevgenia BREUS with the advantage at the moment. I'm sure her coach will just be encouraging her to do much of the same. You saw that hit just on the waistband of the skirt. That is an area on target. VERES so flexible in her trunk, really just getting that point on target just ahead of BREUS. The celebrations really quite electric.
Yeah, incredible, but just needed to keep her cool just a little bit. She would have been ahead here, but coming into the second period now of 3 minutes, she's 1 point down.
Well, 3 red cards have been awarded to VERES. And as you said, that's the 3 points that BREUS has collected quite happily. And as well as the 3 that BREUS has been awarded, it was a hit that was annulled for VERES, so in theory could make a 4 point difference. But these referees, very astute eyes watching. You can see on the left side of your screen how closely the seat of VERES is being watched. And her coach celebrating with her now as the 2 fencers tied at the moment. 12 hits apiece. Just 3 hits away from the final deciding score of 15. BREUS not happy with the shape of VERES' blade there. And VERES just asking her coach to just give it a little tweak. And the light just coming off then because VERES just putting her point on the floor. The floor is disconnected, so a light would come off, but the only target in this competition is the arms mask, wrist, anywhere above the waist, above the silver skirt.
Yeah, 12-12, and well, anybody's match. Just depends on who wants it most. A little bit of tactics coming in now.
Well, VERES seeming to really want to just pull BREUS out towards her, pull the attack out of BREUS, and then launch with the counter-attack. But now BREUS, and there she comes! The Ukrainian timed that, caught VERES off guard, and VERES finds herself trailing again by 1 point. And again, she's so quick off the mark when she's trailing by 1, and as soon as she has a lead, or even just a draw, she seems to back off ever so slightly, and that is when BREUS has the chance to launch that reaching attack and catch VERES just on the waist. Well, she's lost it again. Another point awarded to BREUS. That's 4 red cards for VERES. This really is costly for the Hungarian.
Yeah, it is, and you've got to look at just her attitude, really. Maybe it's costing her this match.
Well, she needs 2 points if she's going to win. BREUS only 1 hit away from a semi-final. This is very tense indeed. Neither athlete wants to make a mistake. And VERES calling for halt. And she's just using that to chat to her coach. Thanking the referee for the pause.
A little bit of tactics there.
Pressure is on both of these athletes. BREUS so close, just 1 hit needed. VERES needs 2 in a row if she's going to top, and it's BREUS of Ukraine. Yevgenia BREUS celebrates. She's through to the semi-final. Salutes, shakes the hand of Emma.